This is so long ago. I want to know what I was like as a child too. I want to know that type of stuff as well. What was I like? You know, I know I was a troublemaker. I know that. In the sense of I loved adventure. If there was somewhere to run around and do things, I would do that. I also expressed anxiety a great deal as a child without people recognizing that I had a problem at that time. Um, Things like we went to the zoo, and that doesn't sound like such a problem, except that my mom didn't come with us to the car once because she had to go to the bathroom. So dad took us to the car to go, get in the car and strap us everything in, everything like that. And I was very young, but I was very cognizant of the fact that mom was not with us. So I thought we had forgotten her. So I went back into the zoo to find her. And it was one of those dad turns around and where am I? I'm gone. Like just gone. And so mom shows up again, coming back from the bathroom, and they have no idea where their child is. I have just disappeared completely. And yeah, but I was looking for mummy. And that was all there was to it. You can't leave mom behind. That just wasn't going to happen. I couldn't deal with the fact that she wasn't there. I was a strange, strange child. Very responsible. There we go. Um, Smith talking to parents loads about the past. It was like that with my mother-in-law. She doesn't like to talk about the past because she was right there in the war. Ooh, I think Tackback might be on lunch because this place looks like watermelon. Yeah, he has so much faster of a jetpack. I can't tell when he does things. But a whole lot of balls of fur just dropped on my head. Not that I actually have room in my inventory to put them, but yeah. And see, that's the thing. There's a lot of trauma about like the war and everything. But if nobody talks about it, we may repeat everything. Like we need to learn those lessons. And they are hard stories to tell, but they need to be told. Like they really need to be told. So I'm now of the age and the mindset, oh, I had no idea this was going to make these. Okay. Apparently we have creepers on top. But I'm of the age and mindset to ask those questions, to ask those hard questions, to try and be sympathetic and say, I know it's hard for you, but I want to know. I think that it would be better for you to talk about it than to not talk about it. I want to share that experience. I want to know what happened. I want to be part of, that world. So it looks like a kiwi from the inside. I was thinking more watermelon-y, but it's a little psychedelic for me. Okay, green is gone. We're gonna go pink. Glass. Any? Well, that was unexpected. I live on the 7th floor of a 17th tall building and something just flew by my window. Very much on a downward trajectory. I am hoping it is snow. Or somebody put a towel on the edge of their balcony. It wasn't big enough to be a person. But, yeah. I hate when stuff flies by my window. Even birds and stuff. I'm like, that's not cool. Hun, you need to sleep. You're gonna float around everywhere. I'm assuming you're on lunch. Or were on lunch. Or you're back from your meeting, obviously, so then there's lunch. But you do something about this rain in the dark. I don't know if I like them in the ground or above the ground, but I am not willing to rebuild them. Yeah. once I go around the corner, maybe we'll look at some doors. And at that point, yay! You heard me. So you also ask your parents. See, from your perspective, it would be so radically different than like my grandfather's. Because he did the whole war here in Canada, safe. He did it in rural Canada too. So, like, totally safe. Farm boy type of thing, motorcycles. My grandmother went to visit my grandfather and had my father there up at the base. So my dad was actually born true military. And yeah, he was never old enough to serve. So I can't really ask Dad a lot of stuff because he just doesn't know. He didn't, he was a baby. He didn't really live it. What is this? This is magenta. It's pink, magenta. There we go. Magenta. Let's do magenta on this side because there's pink in that building. So that's type of stuff. I've been watching Netflix and we love each other. They have a lot of war movies and stuff on and stuff on there. I have an unhealthy obsession, I think now, with history and just knowing more. Not in Cabbagetown. No, Cabbagetown is right inside of Toronto. I am just outside of Toronto. I am in what's called the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area. So I get the privileges of having a city next to me without actually being in the city itself. I am in, without giving too much detail, I am in the region of Durham, which consists of a whole bunch of towns and hamlets and all that type of stuff out there. So I'm on the east side of Toronto. My uncle lives on the west side, which is Mississauga. GTA Polar City Stories. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That confused me when that game first came out. I was like, huh? They're making a game about our area? There is, the GTA surrounds all of Toronto. So there's the Greater Toronto, there's the north, which is like Markham and Newcastle. What else is counted in there? Oh dear, who else is in there? So Newmarket, Unionville, Markham. Wow, 18 Starks. I don't have anything to like upgrade anymore, so you can change that back to the other one now. GTA 4 or 5. Yeah, none of the above. I could use more torches though, hun, if you are doing nothing better. Well, I know you're doing something because if you know that there's that many stacks, that means that you are actually in cleaning out the bins, which I am not doing because I am here building. You don't need one either. There. What do you guys think of that? Huh? Are you liking it? Whoa! You just... Ah! All of a sudden, my inventory flickers at me and I'm like, what happened? And I have torches on me. And I look around and there is still no one here. I have no idea. Like, he's not flying around. I don't know how he does it. Like, I seriously need an upgrade to my backpack if I'm going to be able to see him move around. That was out of nowhere. Okay, so going gray here. We're almost at the repeating of patterns now. Or not repeating, but the second set of patterns. So I may have to make more solid clay. Whoa! There he goes. I saw you. If you would like, and you are bored, you can add more villagers in here. Ow. Flew right through my face. That would be awesome. Make some more of the cocoon. Oh, I have the cocoons. I don't have the emeralds. That is what I'm missing. Oh, this is different. I don't think oh, I have light blue. I can do light blue. Light blue would go with this one. That would be good. And then I need to count and see. But, yeah, as I was saying on there, I am on the east side. The west side is Oakville and Mississauga. And my uncle lives out there. He lives in Mississauga. The airport is technically out there as well. Where else is out there? I actually don't know what else is out there because I literally only go to the airport or I go to Mississauga or I drive right through it. It's not somewhere I hang out. It's the other side of the city. It's an hour away. So it's not really worth it. What are you looking up at? Screenshot. He's just looking weird. There we go. There, and there. I think he's doing something else, but he had to move his mouse up off the screen. Like, if I want to go to the other part of the screen, I have to do the same thing. My other screen is above. I need more pavers. I need to put away the stuff that's in my inventory. Magenta wool, and that. Then green wool, light gray, green. Nope. That was a fail. Green. That's hardened clay. That's hardened clay. How do I have this much hardened clay on me? This is magenta. Oh, I just put the hardened clay there. That's hardened clay. That's blue hardened clay. That's light gray hardened clay. Where is the... Don't I have wool that should go in here? Oh, this one. Holy moly. Oh. We're gonna have more guys. I need to eat. But yeah, I live on the east side. On the east side has mostly towns and hamlets. We are the more rural side of Toronto out here. So we have, starting with Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, Clarington, Uxbridge, and that's all the ones I know. I don't go any further out that way either. I think that, oh, Brooklyn. I should remember Brooklyn. Brooklyn's where I do brownies. Pickering Village. Pickering Village is actually in Ajax, which is a little confusing because I don't know what it is. Bayshore, which is where I go to church. Ooh, there's a little guy. We have babies. Yeah, I think there's more, but I'm not entirely sure because they start getting really little that it's hard to figure out who is what. What are you? You're just a jam guy. You are a red mechanic. You guys, you're a toolsmith. You're a fisherman. Fisherman, welcome to the village. Grab him! Grab him! Did you get him? Put him in jail. We're gonna need a big jail. He's one of the bad ones. Bad ones. They go to jail immediately. Doesn't matter if they haven't done anything yet, they are bad. So I have to build a jail to confine them, and they will go in. That's all there is to it. I'm thinking of putting it in the back corner. So I have to do that. Did I not put a torch? I did not put a torch on the outside of this, which is why we are having difficulties with lighting. I also did not put glass on this, which is also why it's having some difficulties. So yes, they won't consider these actual buildings until they have doors. In my vanilla series, you would have seen that I have a breeder area, and all it is a series of doors. Like, there's no actual real building to it, it's just doors. It looks really weird. Now, I have a problem because Why did you throw an emerald block at me? Is there a particular reason for that? An emerald block is not enough diamonds to do anything. Oh, you traded! Why did you trade with him? You're terrible. Yeah, I made that error again. Where this can't be here, and that house might not be able to be there either. We may have to have a park in this corner. Because wonderful things that he does. Like it's here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's only 3. That's not enough space. Ow. Like, ow. That's not cool. I'm trying to decide if I care or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's still going to need 1 sticking out. There. So this will have to go 1, 2, and right into the side of this house. This house has to move. I knew I was getting close. I didn't realize I was this close. But at least we know exactly how many materials we need. I'll have to move it and move the road over. It'll give us a nice little parquet thing in the center, or in the edge though. So that'll be nice. I hear you. I don't see you, but I do hear you, little one. Okay. This is not the end of the world. It's a bit of a mess, but oops. It's not the end of the world. What are you doing in the hole? Get out of the hole. Okay. Oh. This could be more of a problem. I only have 13 blocks. You need to move. Move. Thank you. And where do we turn this? Well, we already know, because the road has to come this way. It goes this way down. Maybe we should put the whole road in first. You can't find a place called Durham in the east. No, it's a region. It's Durham region. It is, as I said, it's all the different areas. So I live in one of those towns that are listed on there. But yeah, we are all in that region. Hence, we have the Durham Regional Police. Because we are a region. Let me carve this out. Got her? Got who? I don't know who you got. Yeah. So I only give out Toronto as the closest to where I live because if everyone wants to meet up with me or stuff like that, generally I'll do it in the city. Like I will go into Toronto. Beyond that, I'm not particularly comfortable giving up. Really? Get out of the hole. Get out of the hole. Get out of the hole. That's just weird. I don't know what was wrong with that. Like, literally, I have no idea what was wrong with that. Oh, this house has a problem. It has no road. I do need this to come out. That's just going to look weird. Especially since the road goes here. Tackback, can you sleep, please? Really need to make another bed. Travel one. Did he finally get out? Oh, he did. Okay. Probably found another hole to sit in. And quickly fill that in. And this one. Whoops. Yeah, go hang out by that house. That house is awesome. Can I build one in this direction? If it goes here, is this not the same footprint? We start. No, it still has to have one around it. So it'd have to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. There will be a very lovely tree here. So it has to start far enough away from this one. Ah! Building, it's so difficult. It is difficult. We did do a meetup, Tackback and I, when he came to Canada. And although we had a wonderful time, nobody actually met up with us, which is sad. But we're Canadian, so we're kind of weird that way. I do know that you'll see Orange TJ in there. TJ, he is also in Canada, but the problem is Canada is so large, it's also hard to meet people because it's just massive. He is in Montreal, so we did a lot of cities, but we did not Montreal. We did Toronto, we did Kitchener, Waterloo, Niagara Falls. We did that whole area. And that is nowhere near him. We did have somebody who was in the area and was going to meet us in Niagara Falls, but it's because they went to school there. Well, they went to school nearby, and it was still difficult for them to actually make it out to where we were. So I fully understand that they couldn't make it. And we did plan our entire trip with the idea that we probably wouldn't have anybody who actually showed up. So it was perfectly okay. And we had a lot of fun. Yeah, you're a little far away. I do know that you will probably be one of the first Europeans that we meet simply because his family is from there. And I would like to go to where his family is from. That is something that's important to me. This summer, we are going to see my family. My family is in Barbados. So although he's had a chance, he had I feel kind of bad. He had a chance to meet some of my families, like some of my family here in Canada, but he met them at a funeral. My godfather passed away just before Tackback was supposed to come here. And unfortunately, we didn't know that he was going to do that until it happened. So it's not like you can kind of plan and say, hey, yeah. So yeah. So the idea is I want to go and visit where his family is from because he is coming to see where mine is. Mom is from here, and his next trip up to Canada will include seeing, oh, that is a mob. I'm like, Tackback, you changed your clothes. But you did not change your clothes. Hi. You die. You die. Well, you sort of die. You break into the smaller pieces. Oh, as long as you're not harassing the villagers. Are the villagers okay? They should be okay all down there. Where are you? There you are. Did you just jump in the window? Oh, you're sleeping. Thank you. I'm having harassment issues. Okay, so yeah, I want to go out to Germany and see where his family is from and see if there's anybody left out there, that type of thing. I am pretty big on getting to know families and stuff. I know that most of them are from, I think, Montana and Florida. I think it's the two actual states. But they're mostly all in Florida now. But I still want to go and see. I also have a friend from high school who lives in Germany. So I just don't know where. Just somewhere in the country in general. And that's it. So that would be interesting for me to go. I also have another friend who loves to go and visit. She thinks that Germany is one of her favorite places. So that is something we would like to do. So, okay, there are lots of things flying by my windows, but they're looking more and more like blobs of snow. So I think I'm okay with this. At first, I actually thought they were cats, that cats were falling off the balcony. And it was a little upsetting, so I was trying not to think about it. Where is the light gray? There it is. Oh, fun fact. Cats, when they purr, they are like, cats will purr to help, I guess, how do I put it, self-soothe, but it also, the vibration of it is the right type of vibration needed to heal bones and increase bone density. I was like, that is awesome. So that is why cats can fall off of really high heights and not get hurt. In actuality, they may be getting hurt if they didn't purr as much as they normally do. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, I just thought of that now as I was thinking cats were falling off my building. So yeah, they will survive the fall. That goes there. And let's fly up. But yeah, I do want to visit. My parents have been to England and France because we have family in England, and they had an opportunity to just take the channel across and do like an overnight bus tour. So they went to Paris and they stayed overnight in Paris and did those types of things. So they've done that, and it's going to sound kind of bad, but they were a little disappointed in what London and like looked like, because it's very crowded and very congested. They had not expected it to be quite that full of buildings and statues. Like, there are statues apparently everywhere. And I was like, well, okay. Not going to argue on that one because I don't know. There we go. Papers. I don't know how far to push this. What really sucks is all of these need to move over one now. Oh no, there's only one between the road and there, so they're okay. Yeah. So where is Clone? I don't know where that... Did I even say that right? You made the little... I don't know where that is. I don't know where anything in Europe is, for that matter. I have family in Nottinghamshire. Yeah, they are very... They did go out to Nottinghamshire, which, again, we have family way out there. And they found it beautiful. They found it absolutely gorgeous. But I like cities, so I'm okay with that. I don't think they were expecting it to be so crowded and so busy, and that it took so long to go everywhere. That was surprising. They went to the Canadian Embassy to go and visit. Compile your tack back family questions now. Yeah, I am. I have lots of questions for them. Problem is, I don't know if they'll understand a word I'm saying. That could be a problem. I am going to have to brush up on my zero German and see if I can actually learn something. I'm hoping they know some English. That is what I hope. So, yeah, at least some. Please let them know some. But I have a lot of questions. I don't know if they'll answer my questions or if they'll find my questions too forward. That's one thing. Um, I understand I understand a lot about the war from obviously an American perspective. We don't have a choice on that one. Being so close to the USA, you like do this. Hmm? She's here for the day? Who's here for the day? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, your sister. Oh my gosh, she's there. I missed that. Um, your sister is there for the whole day? Awesome. What are you going to feed her? I'm always concerned about that because he's not good at feeding himself, so I'm not sure he's going to feed other people. So yeah. Um, yeah, he got to go and or she got to go to actual Germany and do the whole family thing, but he was too young. I'm telling his story, but he's already told this story, so it's not like I'm telling his story that he should be telling. He's supposed to be heavy lurking. And he didn't get to go because they deemed him too young to go. And I'm like, well, that's not fair. I got to see all of Canada at a ridiculously young age. I think I was 9, and we traveled across Canada so I could see this glorious country for myself. And I got to tell you, at 9, trapped in the back of a car with your 7-year-old sister, who you're not particularly fond of because you're 9, is not a fun way to see Canada. But I have seen every province with the exception of Newfoundland. I did not see BC with my parents. I actually saw BC on my own. So I've been there. Oh, you're going to do Uber Eats or something. Of course. Of course. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to have serious mob problems if I don't start building soon. Sorry, guy. I'm trying to work around you, but you're in the way. All right, let's get back here and figure out what color we have missed, if we've missed any. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have missed a color. We have cyan, blue. Oh, it was light blue. That was easy. If I have a question, I have lots of questions. Now, during the war, it was bombed out pretty badly. I watched a documentary on the fact that Berlin has rebuilt itself and done a glorious job of it, I must say. It is very, 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 very well put back together. Are there any I don't know, shrines sounds wrong, but are there any sort of museum type things or that type of thing that's there? Like we have a wartime museum, like an actual museum dedicated to war, that is in Ottawa. And it is actually really interesting. It has different panels of different things and different battles that Canadians were part of. And it's all about Canada in the war and how we participated and what we did and the soldiers who were in there, individual heroes, individual stories, the losses, all of that type of stuff is in it. They have planes, they have, like, there's everything in there. It's quite a menagerie. And no, yeah, nope, that goes there. So it's a lot of stuff is in it. It's not something you can do in a day. Is there something like that there? Is it Like, I just don't know because it's a completely different perspective. And that's what throws me a little. Oh, light blue is what I'm looking for. Is it one of those places you're required to go to as a child? Like, we take trips to Ottawa just to do it. Like, you have to go. Like, you're like, what are you doing today? We're going to Ottawa so we can go to the War Museum. Like, oh goody. It's one of those school trips that you don't have any say in. You just go. And I know as a school kid, I was like, eh. So, um, everything? Oh, then I want to go to those. I really want to go to those. I want to see that. I want a non-American and non-Canadian perspective on the whole thing. I want to see from the other side. Like, one of the things I really want to do is I also want to go to Moscow and see from the Soviet perspective, but it's going to be very difficult to do that simply because I would be traveling with an American, and right now that's a no-no. Once, I guess, the Cold War kind of ended for a little while there, I thought it was a possibility to be able to travel with Americans to, to Soviet territory and Soviet areas. But it's looking more and more like that's not going to be a reality again for a while. So it's kind of rough. There's also a girl that I know of from college. She is from South Korea. So I was always hoping that I would go with her one day when she went back home to go and visit South Korea and go with her, and she could do that stuff here. Whoa, it is ice that's falling, by the way. I just saw a big chunk of it go by my window. It's not managed for we visited, but originally. Ah, so you didn't go to school there, so you didn't. Yeah, Ottawa is about 4 hours or 5 hours away. So when you have to go on those mandatory school trips, they were quite the school trip. It was pretty brutal. We have smaller ones in Toronto, but nothing in the same scale as what they have up there. I am very lucky. I have family that actually lives in the Ottawa area. They live in the greater Ottawa area, like I live in the greater Toronto area. And they also say they're from Ottawa, just like I say I'm from Toronto, which is kind of neat. So I have a place to stay anytime I want to go and visit the city, and I can do that. The other day when I wasn't streaming for those 3 days, it was because I was up visiting with them and went up to see them because I miss them. And they come down here. So there was one day that they came down here and I didn't stream because they were coming to lunch. So I had mandatory lunch duty where I had to help out getting lunch ready. So it was kind of, it's nice to see it. I love going to the Warplane Museum because I always had hoped to join the Army and be in the Air Force. And at the time, I was told women do not fly fighter planes. And I was like, baloney. And it turned out he was right. Women didn't fly at that time fighter planes. As a matter of fact, we have a very low percentage of female pilots in our military. Most of them fly support planes. So if you need a water type thing, this is the people who bring it in. They bring in, you need a tank? Hey, you give me a call. I can fly you in a tank. You want me to shoot down another jet? Not going to happen. And nowadays, you don't do that anyways. You just use a drone. So I guess it would have been a very short-lived career, sadly. But I really wanted to do that. You never went very far, except for I'm assuming that's 5th. What should we call a class trip? Ah, yeah, those ones are, we have in grade 8. We go on what they call a graduation trip. And for my grade 8 trip, we actually went to, where did we go? We went to Quebec City, I think. I actually don't know. We might have gone to Ottawa again. I go to the weird part for me is I go to Ottawa so often that I sometimes mix up going to Ottawa with going to Ottawa because I have family there. Um, ah, the Tech Museum. There's an actual plane on the roof. Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome. Okay, I gotta see that. Add that to the list. Yeah. The visit will probably only be a week long because TACVAC doesn't take any more than a week of vacation. So we would be looking at a week. And because I am one of these crazy people who believe that you should pack everything humanly possible into a trip, um, every second would be actually planned. I scare him a little. I come to visit him for 3 weeks. He takes 1 week of vacation, and we like put in like the first day of his vacation is me having us go to where did we go? We went to the World of Coke, we went to the aquarium, we went to CNN, and we did dinner out all in one day. Our feet hurt pretty badly at the end of that day, but we did it. We did all of it. And it went like that. That is how I plan stuff. I'm like, we're not sitting around doing nothing one day and something. No, you've got time off. We are going to seriously like visit everything. And we seriously visit everything. Like if there's something to visit, we're on it. Well, I'm on it and he just comes along and hopes he doesn't die from a heart attack or something from all the extra exercise. So yeah. Barbados, I actually have to plan in beach days, in days in which we just sit on the beach. Because if I don't, we will not sit on the beach. There is so much stuff we can do. I'm trying to work together with my family to say, okay, on this day, we are going to go to this place and we would like you to come with us. That way I can combine things like going to, there's a place called Harrison Caves, and it's a whole bunch of stalactites and stalagmites, and it's a coral cave, and it is just beautiful. Well, I would like to do that, but I would like to do that with my cousin Sherian and her two sisters. I don't think they've ever been. And I just ran out of red hardened clay. How come I didn't run out of yellow? Oh, I didn't run out of yellow because I didn't do the 4 columns in yellow. Okay. We are going to need a crafting table. And some dye. Okay. Yeah, like I have already 2 restaurants planned out that we're going to. Well, technically 3 that we're going to, all kind of in the same area for Barbados, because that's this summer. And see, the thing is, it's still going to be a ways away because we need to save up. We're doing Barbados and Atlanta this year, or I'm doing Barbados and Atlanta. He lives in Atlanta, but he's going to Barbados and Atlanta. And then in December, they have a cruise for streamers. And I've always wanted to go on a cruise, but I'm terrified of cruises. Like they truly, they terrify me. So I really want to go on this cruise because it's only, I think, a 4-day or a 3-day cruise. It's not very long. A lot of streamers that we know go on it. A lot of the people that are part of the Atlanta Meetup streamers group go on it. And I am trying for the life of me to remember what it's called. Oh, Viewboat. That's what it's called, Viewboat. So I really want to go on. I don't think it's yellow I need to make. This is red. This is red. This is orange. This is orange. This is yellow. What are you? You're orange. You're yellow. You're yellow. You're yellow. It is not yellow that I am making. It is the other one. Yeah, it's going to do the Bahamas. So I've never been there. I've never been to another island. Unless you count Aruba where we stopped to refuel. But we didn't get off the plane. Well, we weren't supposed to get off the plane. One crazy lady got off the plane, lit up her cigarette, and they tackled her. I don't know if she's still in Aruba, but she doesn't allowed back on the plane again because she tried to blow us up. I still can't believe the fact that we were refueling and she didn't seem to understand that meant that smoking a cigarette next to the refueling area would not go over very well. Very strange. Red. Red? Red. So yeah, she scared us pretty good. She was arrested, to put it nicely. So yeah. Well, that's the idea. I want to try lamb. I've never had lamb. And I would really like to try lamb. So Tackback's like, that's kind of expensive for us to be trying in Atlanta. So instead, we're going to try it on the boat. So I'm like, I'm for that. I'm totally good with that. I have no problems with trying it on the cruise ship. So that's where I'm going to try lamb for the first time. I have had goat because obviously having Caribbean descent in me, I have had curried goat, which is actually really, really good. I really liked it. I didn't think I would, but I did because I'm not a fan of curry. And so I was just like, it's curried goat. I don't want to eat that. And then I tried it and I'm like, oh, I am such a whiner. And it was delicious. It was totally delicious. Way better than my expectations would have ever been. I just need to put these here to make sure I have all the right colors because we don't have enough. These ones belong there. Enough, and I don't want to have to run all the way back here again. I'd rather this be done. Done, done, done. Oh, these ones didn't move down. That's why I'm so confused. I'm like, why aren't these in the right place? That one. This is cyan. So I'm missing gray, which is light gray, pink, hard gray. I think it's that one. We'll know in a second. Gray, gray. And we're missing brown, which should be at the beginning here. So yeah, so our first trip is there, then the cruise, because again, never been on a cruise, so I really want to do that. Yeah, I know I can eat that like everywhere. And then Tackback has to come to Canada again. We're going to do Quebec and Eastern Ontario. So that'll be the next trip. So we'll be doing like Kingston, Ottawa, Belleville. Belleville will be very short because that's where I went to school for a little while. I want to show him that. This is red. So we were working on red. Okay. And I want him to meet my aunt and uncle that he didn't get to meet because they weren't at the funeral because they were from the other side of the family. And I want him to, we want to go see TJ. I want him to get real Montreal poutine, the real stuff, and to see a lot of the historic, and I know I put that block in the wrong spot, just so that you know, trapping myself inside. So he could actually see what historic Canada is, because Canada has a weird history of its own. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's the only way to put it. We have a very interesting history. We had Upper and Lower Canada, which essentially was Ontario and Quebec, and the two of them beat the snot out of each other to decide who would rule the country. The winner, obviously, since we are pretty much English, was Upper Canada. No, was Lower Canada. My apologies. I should know better. Lower because we are, you know what? I don't even know if it was Upper Canada or Lower Canada. One of them was was French and the other was English. Anyways, the English one won. And as a direct result, we have Ontario, which grew out of one of them, and Quebec, which grew out of the other. The reason I'm not sure which is because of the fact that one of them is physically higher than the other, and the other one is physically lower than the other. And I don't know if they named it Upper and Lower Canada based on where they are. The one that was physically lower is Ontario. But then it could also be up or downstream. In that case, we would be upper because we're actually upstream. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. It's one or the other. Irrelevant either way. We won the war within Canada. And, well, we've been kind of paying for it ever since because we gave Quebec a whole bunch of, I don't know. I can't remember what the word is for it. We gave them a lot of stuff to say, we're sorry we beat you in the war. And as a result, we've been paying for it ever since. Quebec has been lording it over us. They don't do any of the same stuff. They don't have the same rules, the same laws, the same anything as the rest of Canada. And there's nothing we can do about it because that was just part of the agreement. And it's totally unfair. And that's all we can do. They actually have a party that is technically traitorous to Canada. It's called the Bloc Québécois. And their entire purpose is to separate Canada from the Union. They don't want us to be together. They want to take Quebec out of Canada. Now, we still have the Queen as the head of ourselves. And one year, I thought it was hilarious because we have our ruling party. I think they were conservative at the time, and they could have been liberal. I don't know. But what they call loyal opposition is the people who get the next highest amount of votes. And it was actually the Bloc Québécois. And it was really weird because the Bloc had to form the loyal opposition, but they can't be loyal because they want to separate the country. So I was like, how are they going to swear allegiance to the Queen and still keep their party platform? Well, that government didn't last long, so it didn't matter. But it was hilarious at the fact that our lawyer one was there. Yes, there are 2 nuclear power plants, actually. I live between 2 nuclear power plants. Darlington. I forgot about Darlington. Darlington also is in the Durham region. There is one in Pickering, which is the Pickering nuclear plant. And then there is the other one on the other side of me, which is the Darlington nuclear power plant. And then directly north of me is the Bruce nuclear power plant. But it's way north. It's quite the trek to get up to that one, which ironically enough is the evacuation zone area that we're supposed to go should something happen to one of these 2 nuclear power plants. We're supposed to head straight towards the 3rd one. So yeah, we have 3 nuclear power plants. But I live in Canada, where nobody cares to blow us up. And they are the CANDU reactors, which makes them some of the very safest in the world. They have redundancies beyond redundancies beyond redundancies. Our plants have never had any accidents at all. I would say they're down more times than they're up because they're doing maintenance on them. Just to make sure that they're good. So, yeah. Yep. The school I went to, this may give away more information than I really am good to give away, but the school that I went to actually had nuclear power plant drills, and it was ridiculous because we were close enough to the power plant that we were within the blast zone. If it went off, we wouldn't know. Like there was just no point in actually having, this is clay. What am I doing? That's wool. That's clay. Yeah, I was within the blast radius. So just wouldn't be here and wouldn't even be aware of the fact that it happened. We were that close. So it was kind of interesting. A guy I dated went to French immersion, and there he did track and field, and part of their track and field was to run around the nuclear power plant. Now, since 9/11, they closed down that track, so you can't actually run around the power plant. You could actually run right through the power plant if you wanted to cheat. Security didn't like it very much, and they'd wiggle their finger at them, going, "Don't do that, kids." But nowadays, they actually have guns, so they will shoot you. So you don't do that now. There's also a, barbed wire fence and all that type of stuff to stop people from getting in. But again, it used to be, it was normal. We had nuclear drills, we had all that type of stuff. That's kind of the world I grew up in, which is why it fascinates me now, because none of that is, I mean, I can't say none of it's real. I mean, it's real, but it's not the same anymore. It is, we take it for granted that we have a power plant next to us. Like, it doesn't even occur to me that that might be scary. It's just is. Okay, I have purple wool, magenta wool. Ah, that's purple. That's why I'm so confused. And now I need the clays. Bing, bing, bing. I'm doing these more in order now. So, yeah, I've lived next to a power plant my whole life. I was technically born in Toronto and spent my first 2 years in the actual city before we got a house and moved out of the city. And then I have lived in this town my entire life, with the exception of when I went away to school. When I went away to school, I actually went away to school. So at that time, I have lived in Oshawa, I have lived in Belleville, and I have lived in Edmonton, Alberta. So I've lived in those 3 cities. Oh, and with the exception of when I moved to Barbados, I lived there for 9 months. I lived in St. George. I don't know if there was a city or anything like that attached to it. I just know it was in St. George Parish. And I like everything there is so small. I don't know if they even have neighborhood names or, yeah. I mean, the whole country fits in the city of Toronto. Not Metro Toronto, the city of Toronto. Like, it's tiny. It's a drive around the entire country in a single day, tiny. But there are so many cars on the road that it's impossible to actually do that. People are like, "Oh, I couldn't drive around." It's only because there are so many cars. There's no room. And some of the roads you really don't want to be going that quick down, because you never know if you're going to come across, a goat cart or somebody on a bicycle or just somebody walking randomly on the road because they can. Or wild dogs. There's a lot of wild dogs there. They're not scary wild dogs because they are usually fed by people, but they're still wild. So you don't want to run them over, because that's just rude. Oh, are you pink? You were magenta. You were pink. Really? 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 I knew this would happen. I knew it would happen. I'm just going to continue with the pink because there's more pink than there is magenta. And then I just don't care. We are going to leave this mix together and fix it by doing the other one in the opposite. I don't think it's actually going to make that big of a difference anyways. So yeah. I think this was supposed to be there. But it looks okay. So that's what matters. I actually had it wrong in the pile here. Magenta, magenta.